Hello and welcome to Hedge Herbarium. I'm Kelly and it's Sunday night, the 11th of May. Tomorrow will be, of course, the 12th of May, and it's the full moon in Scorpio, the flower moon, and it's all about facing your fears or learning about yourself in terms of what you still hang on to, but also revealing secrets. And the reason why I decided to do this reading is because I had been feeling quite low, but this weekend I've kind of gotten over that. I'd applied for a job and they're just taking so long to let me know. You know, when you get to the point where, okay, I get it, but at least do me the courtesy of saying I didn't get it. It was a remote job, and there's a couple of other irons I have in the fire, so I'm not allowing myself to dwell on that, and I even feel like I might have dodged a bullet. So anyway, I thought let me do a reading because I feel like going into this week I'm going in with, you know, the same energies that I was before I headed into this slight dip, and I wanted to get some clarity. It's funny because I don't live my life by fortune telling, but I enjoy getting some insights, and sometimes it even triggers you to look out for certain things that you might not have had on your radar. So not only for the full moon tomorrow, but for the week, I'm doing a reading for myself, and just thought I'd share. I've released a video today about my review on The Witch. Oh, look who was on the bottom of the deck. I'm using the Rider Waite deck, at least at the moment. I might even use one of my other decks that I have here. I wanted to show my little tarot box too. I brought this over from Australia when I immigrated. I actually got it from a second-hand store for quite cheap, but what I also put in here that I've had for years before I even came over here, probably since the late 90s, is this little tiny cicada wing. I'll put it against the black backdrop there so you can see. But I have that in my little tarot box with my cards. For some reason it just felt right when I first found it on the doorstep, and then brought it in and put it in my tarot box, and I feel like it symbolizes flight, higher energies. I don't know, but it's funny how the devil was sitting on that little cicada wing, so interesting. But I'm going to do a shuffle. Like I've said before with my tarot readings, I try to make sure that my feet are uncrossed. Something just popped out. What was that? The Four of Pentacles. And that is something I've been considering about stability, security, especially with finances. I'm very lucky to have a husband who you know, takes care of me, takes care of the house, but I also work full time. But when it comes to our stability and security, even though I've been going through a lot just trying to deal with this job I've got, where I'm dealing with a lot of personalities, but also just making sure I keep my head above water. I went through some trauma processing, and every month it gets better and better. I'm really happy about that. But I do want to be earning my own money on my own terms, and that's why I'm looking for something else where I don't have to deal with a lot of trauma dumping from others, and other things I have to deal with. So I'm doing this channel because these are the things I'm really interested in. This is fun to me, it's hobbies, but I'd also like to one day have it turn into something full-time. How I'll do that, I don't know. I'm thinking I might actually do my herbal medicine making and film that and share it, which I will, plus with my garden planning that's coming for the 2026 year. I'll be sharing all my planning and then my gardening and stuff, so that's coming up. But when it comes to monetizing it, of course, that means having a lot of subscribers and all that jazz. And the funny thing with me is I'm not the kind of person who, I'm not a salesman, and I'm the sort of person, I'm happy to put this stuff out there for free, but if I want to turn this into a career, I've got to think of how I'm going to do that. But anyway, I'm waffling as I'm shuffling. But I'm going to be doing a 3-card spread. I tend to prefer those. I will do bigger spreads sometimes, like the Celtic Cross or whatever, if I want to do a really deep dive into a longer period of time. But when I'm looking at either the next week or month, I like to do the 3-card to show the past, present and future. Who I was, where I am now, and who I'll be, what's happening. So that's what I'm asking for this week, not just with career, but also with this channel, and what are the things I need to look out for the week, if not for the next month going into June. So what I like to do is fan them out and then allow my fingers to do the walking, as I say when I do my tarot readings. I don't know, it's just my really altruistic side sometimes, is don't let my eyes trick me, let my fingers choose. So sometimes I know I sound real daft. But anyway, let's see. So I love this card. It's the 3 of Cups. Now that was in the beginning, so celebrations, when did that happen? I'm trying to think. So what is the next card? Queen of Wands. I feel like that's where I am now. I really do have a lot of fire in, you know, firing me up, the energy in me. I just want things to happen. I think a lot of people out there are feeling that too. It's funny how you can get yourself into a certain mindset where this is exactly how I plan for everything to happen, and sometimes things don't go that way. But I do feel confident in that you can see, look, for example, she's holding the flower, so that's a symbol of growth. And also on the staff that she's holding, you can see the growth coming out of the staff. Little black cat in front of her. I got cats everywhere. So yes, I feel confident that's where I am now, and you know, that's what I would like to think, that the power, the strength of the Queen of Wands. She's very good with foresight and being able to see the lay of the land, but also a little headstrong, and that's me for sure. And I know with this moon in Scorpio, they're saying that it's time to release that control and go with the flow, and that's something I usually have difficulty with, because I'm someone who wants results. I want them yesterday, very impatient, I'm an extremist. So I'm trying to get back to that middle way so that I don't, you know, get too blown off course. Oh my God, I love this. This is the outcome, the world. And the interesting thing about the world, I always see it sort of similar to, and I'm sorry I'm showing her bosoms, but with the world, it reminds me of the Wheel of Fortune as well, and sometimes in readings I get those together. That's a very powerful combination. But the world is like the world is opening up to you. Opportunities are here. Being able to see the forest and the trees at the same time. And also just allowing the elements to come in and getting a hold of them and working them so that they work for me rather than against me. The world often turns up when I'm going to get a job offer. And so this particular job I'm thinking of, I'm wondering if I'm dodging a bullet by not getting it, but if they offer it to me, I might take it. So I'm going to ask a clarification without putting those cards back in the deck. I'm just, bottom of the deck, I know. I've noticed people do that a lot, look at the bottom of the deck, the 5 of Pentacles. I never like that card, but sometimes it's not just about material poverty, it's also about spiritual poverty. Like in the card, they're outside, there's warmth and there's welcoming people and food inside, but it's almost like they're choosing to be outside. So I think getting out of your own way is a good thing, and that's a lesson, a hard lesson that I've learned. But I'm asking for clarification for the world. I'm just also thinking for the beginning of the reading, saying the celebration, I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to think back over the last week or month. Nothing that stands out. Yes, we had some successes at work that I was involved with. And yes, I've been very grateful with the extra subscribers I've received in the last couple of weeks. Very grateful for all of you. If you're here watching and you've subscribed, I really appreciate you. And I've been meaning to do posts just to share that with you guys, and I also want to start offering free downloads, ebooks, with some of the information I'm offering here. I've got a wealth of information that I've written up that I was going to put into a book, but this just feels right to be sharing it in this forum, because I get feedback and I get to see what works, what doesn't, what people are interested in, and so on. This kept wanting to look at me. Ooh, the Magician. And what I love about the Magician is it kind of goes in with the world, feeling like not so much the world is my oyster, but yes, we all know that we co-create our realities here, but getting the Magician as confirmation as well as clarification is interesting. I have what I need, and I know with this channel, for example, I've been feeling like I'm a bit rigid. I'm not showing my true self, and my true self is really a lot more loosey-goosey, easygoing, and quite I've got a great sense of humour, and my husband and I often riff off each other. We have a ball, and with my friends at work and elsewhere, I'm just a goofball sometimes. So I think being so reserved for so long, and also shut in for a few years there, I was just going through the motions, spinning my wheels, resigning myself to the fact that I was getting older, therefore, you know, obsolete. I kind of really sheltered myself and almost poisoned myself with that darkness. So I've been going through it, I tell you. Up until January this year, where it all exploded, I went to the retreat and just completely opened up, and now once everything was out, I was able to sort it all out and figure out, that's why I do this and that and so forth. And now that I'm in this position where I'm realizing I'm not happy where I am in terms of my work, I have the powers, I have everything I need to get what I desire. But it is about the rubber hitting the road, and sometimes there's what you want and then there's what the universe is going to give you. So I'm just going to do one more clarification card on the Magician as well. So I think I know what it means. I mean, I've got what it takes. It's going to happen. I've just got to, you know, put the work in, and I am. But is this going to mean a job? We'll see. You know, and it's very interesting when you do a tarot reading, asking a yes or no question, what you can decipher as a positive or negative answer. But I'm going to split the deck. The Fool. And that's interesting, as in the Magician and the Fool right next to each other, but also with the World. I do feel like there's an opportunity coming, whether it's within my job, which I really don't want to stay at anyway. But with the Fool, you're starting out on a new journey, and the interesting thing is you've got the little dog barking at his heels, letting him know, hey, be careful, you're about to step off the cliff. So I think when it comes to work, because that was the question I asked for clarification on, I've got to be really careful and really sniff out everything from A to Z before I sign on the dotted line if I do take something. On the other hand, I do feel like I've dodged a bullet with this job that I was hoping to get. Now I'm starting to realise if this is how they are, if the job is all about communication, and they're not communicating with me after I had a really successful interview, and the hiring manager said she would follow up with me, and then crickets, tumbleweeds, somewhere in the distance a dog barked. You know what I mean? But sometimes, especially with me, I know that with my nature, I go full throttle, expecting something and a certain outcome, and then crashing when it doesn't happen. So that's why I'm glad this cloud has lifted from my head, in terms of me pinning all my hopes on this job. Geez, there's plenty of other opportunities out there, and I feel like, especially with this moon, that's what I have to face. I've got to let go of constantly making things happen a certain way. Going with the flow is one of the biggest lessons I'm learning at the moment. I just thought to myself, what questions should I ask? And then the moon popped out. Sometimes the moon means you're not meant to know at this stage, but it's also about using your intuition. Or this is not the right time to ask. There's so many different meanings with the moon, but usually it's about things that are behind the veil, things that aren't ready to be revealed yet. So now I'm just going to do a you tell me reading. I like to do that sometimes, and I'm going to do a 3-card reading for that. So let me spread them out. And what I'm thinking about, even though I'm asking the universe, you tell me, things that I think that I might need to look out for that I wasn't aware could be a problem. Sometimes when I do the universe, you tell me reading, it's like, give me an idea of things I should be focusing on. So yeah, interesting. Anyway, so okay, we've got the 8 of Cups, and just like the picture says, in a way, it is about turning your back on something. 8 is a karmic number as well, and for me personally, what this represents is not being serious about the talents and skills that I have, turning my back on things that served me in the past that I assume don't serve me now. I do feel like it's sort of like sacrifice as well, I see this card as. But sometimes walking away from things, even if they were good things, it happens for a reason, and then you don't appreciate them until you turn around and look back. And I think with my past, with the trauma and stuff, it was like throwing the baby out with the bathwater when I went through that. So I've had to re-slap some things back on me that, hang on, that was a good thing. So that's interesting. Where I am now, in terms of what the universe says, it is sort of like a following theme in a way. Again, it's cups, but it's the 5 of Cups. I don't like the 5 of Cups because it is about contemplation of the things that you've wasted, missed opportunities. Again, sometimes I can be my own worst enemy, and I don't appreciate the things I have, but practicing gratitude's really helped make a difference with that. I'm sorry if I'm flashing my glasses at you. But there are things that I have that I can turn to, and this is a big lesson I learned even just yesterday. I have ADHD, I realised this year, I discovered. Explains a lot of things, but expecting everything to be perfect, therefore not doing anything at all, or doing things half-heartedly and then just letting go. I don't know, that's a weird thing to say, but I'm always freaking out in the house, like I've got to have everything perfect. And then when my husband gets up in the morning after, well, of course, getting up after sleeping, he'll come out and I feel like I've got to be at it. I can't be sitting down reading or doing these videos or things like that, creating stuff, which I love doing. So I'll jump up and start getting into it, and maybe put a load of washing on or go and do something in the house, but then getting cross that I'm doing that, thinking, why am I having to put on that act, when he knows that, you know, I work full-time too and I do everything I can at home. But he stopped me yesterday when I did the same routine. He got up and started walking through the house, so I started getting up, okay. And he comes in, what are you up to? And we were talking about it, and then I said, well, I'll get into it in a minute, I'm just going to do this video. And then he said, look, let me say this to you again. This is bringing you joy, this is making you happy, you love doing this. Don't stop doing it. I apologise for my impudent cat. But he said, so no matter what you're doing, the house will take care of itself. He said, everything is fine, we're good, you enjoy doing this, go and create, stop worrying about it. And it was really interesting because it made me realise that, you know, I'm doing it to myself. I don't know, this card always says that to me. To me it's like a mirror. It's like, yeah, take things seriously and stop. Well, take things seriously, but anyway, sorry, she's distracting me, being a nuisance. I will smack her bottom in a minute. Guess what just haunted me? But it was reversed. It was the Five of Pentacles. We just talked about you. I don't like you. But it's funny though, because when you think about it, it actually does follow the trail sort of thing about me not really being appreciative of the things that I have. And with the Five of Pentacles, it's probably, to me, poverty of spirit. That's something I've had to learn. I even just last week it dawned on me, you know, stop pinning all your hopes and dreams on... I might have to stop a little cat fight in a minute if they don't calm down. Stop it! Pardon me for just a minute. Okay, I'm back. I could have kicked his butt. Anyway, the interesting thing, the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Cups. I love that card, and I know that I will get there, the abundance, the happy life, the joy. Once I release the stranglehold that I have on thinking that things have to be a certain way, and when it doesn't go the way I want, cracking the shits. That's my usual go-to. You know what, if you can't fix it, fuck it, kind of thing. Excuse my swearing, that's just who I are. Anyway, I just want to say hello to Bastet. She always watches over me. I'm going to pull a card from Deviant Moon for just because. Just want to see what it wants to tell me. I love the Deviant Moon deck because I feel like it digs deeper. The cards were... It took him years, I think it was 11 years, I can't remember, but Patrick Valenza is the artist, the Deviant Moon Tarot, and he's the one who created this. It's really amazing, deep mythology, and I find it's really deep psychology as well. For some reason when I do this, it just feels like it's deeper, and I don't know if it's because the cards kind of have a dark motif, if you will. But what I'm asking is, tell me about my shadow. And here I am revealing my dirty laundry for you all. But, oh, that spoke to me. Page of Swords. Now this is his version of the Page of Swords. The light. See the eye? Interesting. And swords is action. Element air, they say, although sometimes I think it really should be fire because they're forged in fire, but hey. And then maybe earth because the metal comes from the rocks in the earth, but hey, we go, whatever. But the Page of Swords, pages are usually messengers or younger people in your life, and the action and having the super focus, I feel like looking at the iconography, all the, you know, the symbols in the reading, to me that eye is saying have a laser sharp focus on what's going on and then take action. But let's see what Patrick Valenz's meaning is. Look at me not even being able to talk. That's probably because it's Sunday night and I'm sort of winding down. But the Page of Swords, the young page roams the city. He is skilled in perceiving hidden truths and secrets. However, he is often underestimated due to his youth. So insightful, perceptive, intuitive, keeper of secrets. So yeah, tomorrow with the moon, in the full moon in Scorpio, one of the things is about revealing secrets. And I feel like that card was telling me, yeah, keep your eyes focused on the prize and take action when need be. I've been feeling really confident lately in my power of authority, in terms of how I allow other people to treat me and talk to me. I've been very good at being able to just distance myself from the manipulators and the people who like to, just because they're assholes, you know, dump all their shit on me. But stepping into my power, but using, it's funny, I've talked about it before, it's couched in compassion. I see people as the little children who just have all this crap on top of them that there's been heaped on them through life. And even though we're all responsible for how we treat others and how we act in public and all that jazz, you know, some people don't know any different. So when I'm coming at people with that compassionate frame of mind, okay, they might be presenting gnarly or spiky or feisty or spicy or whatever, or seeing through that and seeing that little child in there that's projecting, that's still not dealing properly with the shit that it's gone through. Like, well, you know, other humans. I'm finding that being more compassionate in that regard, to a point, has really helped the interactions I've had with people. It's improved them a lot better. I'm less reactionary, less likely to jump and react to their projections, because that's just a lie. The projections and my reaction to their projections, which is really my projections too, that's just a lie. It's the mask that we wear, it's the armor that we put on to protect ourselves. So if we can rise above that and see what is the real issue here, and then dealing from that place of compassion, it's useful for me, it's useful for them, and it helps me have a more fluid day, a nicer day, without constantly locking horns with people or running away from people or hiding or getting spiteful. All that crap's secondary and unnecessary. Now, even without thinking, I picked up the Woodland Wardens tarot, and since it's about animals, let me see, what animal spirit should I have guiding me for this week? And what's interesting about this deck, it's illustrated by Jessica Rue, and they also include plants. So let us see, what guide should I be using for the week? Oh, the beaver and the birch. And I like that they're not so reflective. The beaver and the birch. And of course the message is home. Home means a lot of different things to me, because I'm not from America, I'm Australian. I immigrated here in 2008, been here ever since, been back and forth, but and so let's see what it says. Home. My focus is on my home is my castle, same as my husband. We're both the same. When we come home, it's almost like we feel like we have to pull up the gates, the moat, Make sure the alligators are snapping for anybody who wants to encroach on us. It's funny. But our home is our sanctuary, like I hope most of your homes are too. It doesn't have to be a mansion, it can just be a room even, but your sacred space should be that little bubble that you can retreat to so that you can lick your wounds or at least relax and recuperate for the next day. But let's see what they say, and the beaver is, let me see. See, this is the problem with these brand new, well, these aren't brand new, but these decks where they're not using page numbers, they're using Roman numerals, so it takes 20 million years. And I used to know Roman numerals very well. But because they haven't numbered these pages, they're just using Roman numerals, it's a pain in the butt. Now, just while I'm searching, so you're not bored shitless while you're waiting for me to get my act together, the beaver, of course, here we go. The beaver, of course, makes his dam with the chops down all the trees and branches and makes his dam to make his home. So let's see what they say. Now is the time to focus on nesting, homesteading and settling down. Decorate and tend to your environment in a way that supports a feeling of home. And I am doing that. I understand that your home is a reflection of your mental state. I have some corners of the home that are pristine and some corners that are piled high with books and stuff, so I've got to get my act together. What do I appreciate about my home? Is my home a place or a feeling? And I do know that your home needs to be reflective. It's kind of like how you treat spirit, how you treat yourself. So if your home is not conducive to that, it's understandable. Mind you, I am the kind of person who thinks that no matter what, no matter where, it's all about who you are inside. As long as your heart is pure, then you don't have to punish yourself for things that aren't perfect according to what other people dictate. I'm going to pull one more. I'm just drawn to this, and I know this is a longer video, but let's hope I didn't cut off the first part when I paused. But anyway, so I'm doing a final one, and I just want something from a spirit message to give to me through the Green Witches Oracle deck. I am going to be using this deck to ask that question. So, for this following week, or however long, so I've got to be thinking about the beaver during the week, making my nest more desirable. What did that say? That looked out at me. Seeds, new ideas, hope, open-mindedness. So that's the card I got. Seeds, new ideas, hope and open-mindedness. So let us see what they say. That was seeds. This is a little better, even though you've got to go searching for seeds. How interesting. Another one I have to go rooting around for. This is why I actually do prefer the Rider Waite deck. No nonsense, you know, and I've been working with it for so long I don't have to look up the readings, of course. I mean in the book. But seeds, new ideas, hope and open-mindedness. So when you're thinking about new ideas or new projects, what do you want to achieve? I know what I want to achieve. So it's talking about the seeds containing the blueprint for an entirely new plant, a future living thing. And then it goes on, there's much potential within a seed. It's an act of hope when you plant a seed. It's the first step in a project or undertaking, and it goes on and on explaining about that. However, there is work ahead. If the seed sprouts, it will need care and attention to maximize its potential. The seed cards tells you that there is something worth your time that's waiting to be recognized. Be open to the message nature has for you. Don't immediately dismiss ideas as far-fetched or impossible. Give them consideration. There may be something to learn. That's interesting that that says that, because I really have been getting serious about looking up commercial kitchens, if not my own kitchen, to produce medicine. Since I went through the Chestnut School of Herbal Medicine, I make my own medicine, and I should film that and share it with you guys and how to do that. And there's plenty of people who do that, but I also like to include the magical side of it. So I will be looking into that, and it's interesting that card was talking about that. It's right there. I've got it all in here. It's about putting it out there. So yeah, that's something I will do. But I hope this was interesting for you, and just remember, tomorrow is, well, you might be seeing this on the day or even afterwards, but May the 12th, I think it's around 12:35 p.m. is when the full moon moves into Scorpio. And definitely a week of watching for the fears, the things that trip us up sometimes, and getting power over that, learning about what trips you up, what's our triggers, and dealing with them, but also secrets being revealed, other people's motivations and things being revealed, and very interesting energies. And I feel good going into this week, and that reading made me feel better because it's pretty much confirming what I've been thinking anyway. I've got to maintain, stay above, and remember, no matter what happens, I'm the one who's in charge. And if things don't go my way, oh well, it wasn't meant to be. I'm getting a lot better at doing that. But anyway, I hope you take care of yourself, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. It would be really appreciated. Take care.